Hey there, Fight here with a quick review of Kickstart survey, which you can see up here. The idea of Kickstart survey is basically it's a new survey tool employing the latest cool things, including overlay over other websites. Now, before I go through the whole thing, let me give you the high-level summary, alright? This is kind of a tool where I'm thinking, oh, how many pints of beer does it take until I find you really attractive? So it does a lot of good stuff, but there are quite a few little things. So if you're looking for the perfect tool, you can stop now and go enjoy the Saturday afternoon sunshine. Otherwise, let's dive in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the end result, okay? And then you immediately see what I mean by it's kind of not that hot. So what is nice about this thing is basically it's a server-based application. You don't have to install it on your own website. So you get a link like this, kickstartsurvey.com/something, some random number. Okay, cool. Which is great because you can now post this on Facebook and all over the place, which is lovely. And then it overlays your survey onto another site. So what I've done is I've taken my own site, onlinerule.com, and I've overlaid this. So the text I wrote up here is basically, just for you. This is a survey overlaid over onlinerule.com. Click it now and play with the survey. So you can go to this link. I'll send it to you in the email. And then you'll see this thing. So in the background, you see onlinerule.com. And when you click on here, the survey pops up. So the first thing you notice as I scroll up and down here is the design is a little bit pedestrian, I would say. It's just here this grey sidebar on the side and the grey pixels over here. Perhaps I'm being stupid, or I am too stupid, and I have to admit, in the setup, I did not read the instruction manual. I mean, for me, something has to be easy enough so I can go and play with it and then apply it. And this is basically what you're getting, me not reading the manual. So I want to be totally fair and upfront about this. I just did not read any manual and or watch videos. So here's the thing. Hi there, Fight here. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, have a play with the survey. That's cool. So the very first thing is it's not very sexy with this grey bar, right? Then, do you like steak? Oh well, yes, no, sometimes. So what I did is I connected ActiveCampaign to this, and depending on your choice, you're then subscribed to different lists, which you can do in here. So on the dashboard, you can say, look, here are my credentials for ActiveCampaign. Thank you very much. And then you're in here, and in the questions over here, you can say, all right, when someone clicks on question yes, they are subscribed to, and up pops a whole list of different lists you can subscribe to. The same for no, the same for sometimes. Now, all in all, that's great. It's a great starting point, but many of the autoresponders have tagging functionality, and in practice, I find I'm hardly ever subscribing someone who's interested. Like, let's say I'm a meat vendor, right? And I've got a survey for meat lovers, and the question is, do you like steak? I hardly ever subscribe them to the special steak list. What I do is I subscribe them to here, meat lovers, and I tag them. These are people who like steak, these are the ones who like whatever, ham, and the other ones who like sausages. Something along those lines. So I think, okay, this is nagging and complaining at a very, very high level, but I would like to see some kind of tagging functionality in here to make it really a no-brainer, because we have that whole thing in our own tool, our own survey tool. All right, so let's go back to this here. So let's say I then click on sometimes and I go to next. Thank you for completing our survey. It's great to get your feedback, which is the follow-up page here. Thank you for completing our survey. It's great to get your feedback, where you can now enter your name and email address. Okay, let's do that. I enter my name, and I enter... and as you can see, that's sort of slightly... I don't know, maybe I'm just bored or something, but I don't like that grey thing on the side here. I submit this, and no, it does go do some thinking. It'd be nice to see some twirly-whirly thing going on. He's like, all right. And then I said, oh, by the way, you can pop up in the background the site fightshank.com, which is this setting here. Thank you, page. So this page never pops up. That wasn't so hard now, was it? Instead, I said redirect to... Actually, I didn't save this. Okay, it was supposed to redirect to fightshank.com, which I then saved. Now, there are a couple of odd things here. So that's the first thing. you can select between, just don't do a redirect, in which case I think it's probably ending up on this page. We can test that in a second. You can redirect to a URL, you can give them a file or a video, and then you have a share button, where the share button, you can have different positions. And what I found is when I select one here, it always reverts to select a share button. It doesn't save it. That may be because I didn't say I want to have a none. So what I'm going to do is now say none, and we're going to go to bottom. So save this. Okay. And now what you find is it goes back to the home page. So let's go back to the thank you page and see this here. Share button settings, select share button position. This should be at bottom now. So I've saved it to none. So what should happen when I close this and play with the survey? Take the survey, yes, sometimes. This, by the way, the subscription works fine. It sounds that it should be obvious, but there's so many tools out there that don't actually subscribe properly. So this one does subscribe. I tested it, and it does work quite well with ActiveCampaign. So next, now let's do this again. Fight, reply to fight at googlemail.com. So with a bit of luck, I should now end up on the page you saw here. This one here. Wasn't so hard, and there should be a share button somewhere. It is thinking. Aha! Alright, it does work. Okay, so although it doesn't show up here, this thing. So these are the little things I personally find, it takes another pint for me to live with that. But it does work in practice. So I guess the big takeaway is it does work. It is super cool that you can overlay this over other sites. So that's the main draw of this thing. So you, in the background, say, hey, here's a cool article on whatever, training your doggy, and it's over at Doggy Central or on entrepreneur.com or the BBC or whatever. And then people go to the BBC, and this thing is at the top. This is survey. You put anything in there, and they can play with your survey. And of course, they are then taken to your site. What I don't like is this grey bar here. It just doesn't look very sexy in my opinion, but if you can live with it, it's fine. Similar here, like there's no need to scroll up and down because there are only 3 questions. So why is there a scroll bar? I find that ugly, me personally. But hey, it's complaining at a very high level. So I say no, and this should subscribe to a different list. I'm not going to do that for the time being, so no. And we get to the end. The only thing is then, if you're going to a site personally, and this is something that can and should be raised with the developers, and say, look, once you've got a URL, I mean, it's a design decision. What they said is like, okay, we're going to open that new site in this window. And I'm thinking, if I redirect to a URL, you might as well say goodbye to this whole site and redirect the whole thing to the site. I mean, you're basically creating competition for your prospect's attention by having the background page, whatever it is, Doggy Central or BBC or whatever, it's open. And in this semi-ugly window with its grey border, you now have the thing you really want them to go to. So you might as well have a proper redirect. If it's a URL, go to that site and close everything in the background. No, not this thing. There you go. Alrighty, so there's my summary of Kickstart survey. It does its job. It does what it does really well is the subscribing to list. I need to highlight this. I tend to find bugs with almost every other tool out there. So there you go. If you're not as picky as I am and you don't mind the grey bar, it might be a nice simple tool. That's another thing, by the way. It's super simple to use. The user interface is really nice. Okay, so set up here, you create that thing at the top, you give it a name, you can add your. So here's another one, right? I added a retargeting pixel and now it's gone. So I'm sure it's in there in the system. Actually, I don't know if it is. Let's find out, right? Look. And let's see if my pixel is in here. Where's my pixel? Where's my pixel? Actually, I cannot see my pixel. So let's quickly see what happens. No, okay, I can't see it. It might be. How's that? Maybe. Nope. No pixel. No pixel. No pixel. So, no pixel. No pixel. No pixel. Let me see if I can find Facebook. Nope, it's not in here. So, I would say the pixel thing is another sort of little niggly naggly thing. I did add it earlier, saved it, and now it's gone. So there you go. That's I guess sums it up. Another pint needed. They're all things that can easily be fixed, all right? But I'd like to have it out of the box, ready and working. Alrighty. Then again, this may well be me being really, really stupid because I didn't read the manual. I just thought if I add a retargeting pixel and press save, surely it's in there. Alright. Cheers. Bye.